Today, we're looking at 10 inventions that you didn't know were ancient. This stuff will blow your mind, so let's get to it. Number 10. The world's first computer. Back in 1902, an Egyptian fisherman pulled something up from the ocean floor near the Greek island of Antikythera. It was a bronze device found inside of an ancient shipwreck. First they thought it was just some kind of ornament or maybe part of a sculpture. But after a closer look, it turned out to be one of the most incredible discoveries of all time. Known today as the Antikythera mechanism, this device is now believed to be the world's first computer. It was created by the Greeks between 270 BCE, thousands of years before the modern computer was invented. The device is full of interlocking bronze gears, and it's incredibly accurate. Experts say it could measure time down to a fraction of a second. The Antikythera mechanism was used to track astronomical positions of the moon, planets, and the sun, as well as predict eclipses and the date of upcoming Olympic Games. It was basically like having Google in your pocket. We don't really know how these ancient Greeks made such a complex machine so long before the modern computer, but scientists have said that the discovery of the Antikythera mechanism has changed the way we think about ancient Greece and how advanced their technology really was. Number 9. Roman concrete. You might not expect the Romans to be very advanced when it comes to technology, but they actually had a pretty big leg up on us. For example, they created concrete that was stronger than modern concrete. Today, researchers are trying to copy ancient Roman concrete because it just doesn't break down over time like modern concrete. Modern concrete starts to crack and break down after just 10 years. But Roman concrete still stands strong after 2,000 years? Scientists don't know exactly what the Romans did to make their concrete so durable, but they believe it had to do with the volcanic ash they got from nearby Mount Vesuvius. They mixed the ash with seawater and lime to make a strong compound that acted as the binding agent in concrete. They also used materials like bronze and iron for reinforcement, which helped the concrete withstand the elements and last for thousands of years. One of the most impressive examples of Roman concrete is the Pantheon in Rome, Italy. Built around 126 AD, the Pantheon is still standing after almost 2,000 years in its concrete. Dome is still the largest unreinforced concrete dome in the world. 8. The Baghdad Battery. Archaeologists discovered a collection of clay jars buried in Iraq in 1936. Inside these jars, they found a copper tube, an iron nail, and a wax seal. When they dug up more artifacts from the same site, they found many more of these mysterious devices. After doing some research, experts realized they had stumbled upon the world's first battery. These batteries were created in the Parthian and Sassanid empires between the 3rd century BCE and the 8th century CE, thousands of years before the invention of the modern battery. While these ancient batteries weren't powerful enough to charge a smartphone, they were able to power a small electric motor. They probably used the batteries to electroplate metal objects, giving them a shiny, polished look. Unfortunately, all of these artifacts have been lost due to war and looting. Number 7. Indian plastic surgery. If you've ever had rhinoplasty, you have a lot to thank the ancient Indians for. As crazy as it sounds, the world's first recorded rhinoplasty took place in India back in 600 BCE. That's more than 2,000 years before the procedure was performed anywhere else in the world. According to ancient texts, the operation was performed by a surgeon named Sushret. He removed the nose of a deformed bull and reattached it to the face of a young man who had lost his nose in an accident. Since then, the practice of plastic surgery has spread throughout the world, and today, it's a common procedure. Thanks to the ancient Indians, people all over the world can fix their boob jobs and facelifts. Number 6. The Chinese seismograph. You may not realize it, but the ancient Chinese invented the world's first earthquake detector. They called it a seismograph. It was invented back in 130 BCE by a man named Zhang Heng. Zhang Heng noticed that during an earthquake, heavy objects would fall off shelves. He hypothesized that there was some kind of natural force that caused these heavy objects to fall. So he created a device to detect this force. The device consisted of a large bronze vessel filled with water and suspended from a hook. When an earthquake struck, the water sloshed back and forth until it hit one of the sides of the container. The side it hit indicated the direction the earthquake traveled. This allowed the ancient Chinese to predict where the next earthquake would strike. They also used the seismograph to measure the intensity of earthquakes. Based on how far the water sloshed back and forth, The Chinese kept records of every earthquake that happened for hundreds of years. And today, we still use a version of the Chinese seismograph to detect and measure earthquakes. So what's the moral of this story? Nothing is new under the sun. All of the things we take for granted today have already been invented thousands of years ago. Now stay till the end and watch part 2 of this video for 10 more amazing inventions you didn't know were ancient. Number 5. Self-adjusting stools. In 2014, archaeologists uncovered a mysterious artifact while excavating an ancient Buddhist site in India. The artifact was a stool that automatically adjusted its height. How does this even work? The stool had 2 sets of legs, a set of shorter inner legs and a set of taller outer legs. When the person sat down on the stool, the weight caused the taller outer legs to collapse inward, bringing the seat lower to the ground. When the person stood up again, springs brought the outer legs back into their original position, raising the stool back to its normal height. This self-adjusting stool is one of the earliest examples of mechanical engineering ever discovered. No. 4. The dodecahedron of Philip of Agrigento. The dodecahedron of Philip of Agrigento is one of the most mysterious artifacts ever discovered. It was found in 1950 in the Greek city of Agrigento. The artifact is a 3D object with 12 faces, each of which is inscribed with strange symbols and patterns. What's so remarkable about the dodecahedron is that it's completely symmetrical. Every face looks identical to the others, and every corner is exactly the same. It's so precise that scientists still haven't figured out how it was made. What's even crazier is that we don't even know what the dodecahedron is. Some experts believe it was a simple toy, while others think it was a piece of scientific equipment. Others still say it was used for religious ceremonies. No. 3. An artificial heart. An artificial heart might seem like a modern invention, but it was actually invented thousands of years ago. In 1983, archaeologists unearthed a mysterious artifact in Egypt. It was a wooden box with a mechanical pump inside. The pump was connected to 2 bladders, one for the lungs and one for the heart. How did the Egyptians invent an artificial heart thousands of years before modern technology? They used the heart to treat a condition known as edema. Edema is a blockage in the arteries that causes blood to pool in the legs and feet. To treat edema, the ancient Egyptians would attach the artificial heart to the patient's body and then use a hand crank to pump the blood back into the bloodstream. No. 2. The astrolabe. The astrolabe is an ancient device that was used to tell the time and navigate the stars. It was invented in Greece around 200 BCE and quickly became popular in many other cultures, including the Arabs and the Chinese. The astrolabe was used by sailors for thousands of years to help them navigate the seas. They would use the device to find their latitude based on the position of the stars. The astrolabe was also used by astronomers to study the stars and predict eclipses. It wasn't until the invention of the GPS that the astrolabe became obsolete. No. 1. The flying machine. A flying machine is one of the most coveted inventions in the world. Every culture has dreamed of creating a flying machine. And many cultures came close to inventing one long before the Wright brothers. In fact, Leonardo da Vinci drew plans for a flying machine as early as 1485. His design was a flying suit that would allow a person to fly like a bird. It consisted of a pair of wings attached to a suit that looked like a scuba suit. The idea was that the air would flow through the wings, allowing the person to glide through the air. Leonardo da Vinci's flying machine was never built, but it inspired many other inventors to try. In 1750, a man named George Cayley designed a flying machine that looked like a large kite. He believed that by pulling on a string, he could make the kite soar through the air like a bird. George Cayley's invention was one of the first successful attempts at a flying machine. It wasn't until the Wright brothers that powered flight became a reality. Now check out 10 inventions that were never supposed to exist. Or watch 10 historical facts that you won't learn anywhere else.